the Hamilton City Council Emerging Scientist Award.
Well, what really brought me into science was originally just walking through the forest and listening to birds and watching birds, the serenity of the forest in the morning and the evening. It wasn't until my undergraduate class in botany, however, when I really decided that plants and the function of plants and the ecology of plants is what really turned me on to nature. If we can understand how ecosystems function, then we can turn the tide a little bit and make some gains on restoring indigenous communities and ecosystems back to the integrity that they once had. We're at a global tipping point where we're losing species at an unprecedented rate. And as we lose species, we lose the functioning aspects of those species. So the framework I'm really working on is fundamental ecological theory and applying this theory to in real-world contexts. You know, ecology can be defined as the study of the distribution and abundance of organisms in relation to their environment. So that's really the fundamental core piece of my research, being able to predict species abundances along environmental gradients. And this trait-based framework, which is really being pushed forward at a global scale, is really allowing us to do this in very different and new ways. Rather than just looking at species abundances along gradients, we're incorporating a much more mechanistic understanding into how species respond to their environment. No longer do we have to just look at little case studies on species by species basis, but we can make generalizable statements about how certain plant traits are selected by agents of natural selection along environmental gradients to determine where species grow and how they're going to respond to climate change. One of the reasons that I got into science was that I wanted to make positive change on this planet. So I think if I could apply fundamental ecological theories to restore ecosystems, to benefit human communities, endangered species, and all these wonderful organisms that we know and love and see around us, then that would make me pretty happy.